It is such a joy to be with you today and to be sharing this theme of authentic feminine leadership, breaking out of the mailbox. This is a theme that's very close to my heart and fits into my dream because I dream of a world of peace, understanding, and collaboration, where each individual is valued and respected for who she or he is in their uniqueness. And I truly believe that for this to happen, we must have women at all levels of leadership and around the globe. So I've called this authentic feminine leadership, breaking out of the mailbox. And yes, that's a bit to have a little bit of humor in it. More important though, is this whole image behind it. You know, when you think of a mailbox, you think of something that's very, very structured, something that's solid, something that you put something into and it has to fit. If the mailbox is too full, then you cannot get your letter in. Well, this time I'm spelling mailbox M-A-L-E. And it's because so often we find ourselves trying to squeeze and twist and fit into what I'm calling the M-A-L-E mailbox. That structure, which does tend to be masculine. Those business models that tend to be masculine. And somehow we don't fit. And if the truth be known, we don't really want to fit. So let's look at the alternative. The alternative is to break out of this mailbox and to create a new atmosphere that is respecting and valuing our uniqueness. And I call this authenticity. Take a minute and just ask yourself, what does authentic leadership mean to you? What are the words that come to mind? Not the official definition, but what it means to you. Probably you're coming back with words like genuine, spontaneous, the real me, showing up as who I am. And these are all good. These are part of your authenticity because that is your uniqueness. If we dig a little deeper though, what we find is values. We are aligned with our values when we are authentic. And by being aligned with our values, we then are living our integrity. When we show up, no matter where we show up, we are showing up as who we are. And that will be in any circumstance and also in any relationship. And what I'm hearing are there are multiple advantages to this. And I'm hearing this from a lot of women because in 2016, I created Inspired Women Lead, which is a cross-border, cross-cultural mentoring program to champion women to step into their authentic feminine leadership. In other words, to create their own form of leadership as the person they are, the people they are, as opposed to trying to fit into the models that are there. This mentoring program has already basically swept the world. We are on 5 continents. And what I'm hearing from the women in all of these countries, on all of these continents, is pretty uniform as far as when they step into their authenticity, when they begin to lead as the unique women that they are, they're discovering a newfound freedom. They're discovering that there's this feeling of being liberated that comes with being your authentic self. And with that also comes greater confidence. And as we gain greater confidence, we then also build greater confidence in the people around us. We become more positive, we become more proactive, and proactive coming from our heart and our personality. We come at it from who we are without trying to copy somebody else. And as we become more confident, we're then able to stretch ourselves even more and grow even further. This question of being authentic is so important. When I was 50, I was in politics and I had a heart attack. Now, the doctor, when I went in with this excruciating pain, went through everything. He says, but you don't have this predisposition for it. You don't smoke, you're not overweight, he went through all the list. And it was all true. There was no reason for me to have a heart attack, except I was no longer aligned with my values. My values were clashing. And it was a tremendous lesson that I hope you can learn without having a heart attack. Because when we are not living our values, we are not being fully authentic. So it's actually very healthy for you to be authentic as well. There's another piece of authenticity that's very important too. And I'd like to use an illustration for it, because when we are authentic, we also allow people around us to become more authentic. You probably are very familiar with Marianne Williamson's quote, which Nelson Mandela used in his inaugural address, where she talks about who are you not to show forth in all of your goodness. And the fact that when you shine, when you allow your light to shine, you also allow others around you to light theirs. And with this authenticity, you also have a piece of this, because let me use the following example of somebody who is very authentic and therefore was allowing other people to be authentic around her. It's a friend of mine who became the head of a fairly major non-governmental organization. And one of the first meetings she had with her staff, she made it very clear to everybody, you will find me in my office early morning. However, no one is to make an appointment for me after 4 o'clock, because at 4:10, I am going to be leaving here to pick my child up at school. She traveled a lot, and it was very important for her to have that time with her child. She was being true to her own values, because part of her value was, as a mother, being with her child when she could. Now, some of you might look at this and you might think, how selfish. I mean, what kind of a leader is that? Others of you, though, have already caught on. And you're looking at and you're thinking, I'd love to have a boss like that. Because what she was doing was saying to all of her staff, it is okay to show up as your full being, to show up as your full authentic self. And if you are a parent, it's okay to be a parent. If you're a horse person, it's okay to be a horse person. What she did was she gave permission to the other people in the organization to also honor their values and to say that there is a different way of working without working less well. So I use that as an illustration. I think it's an important one because we all should remember you and I are each a role model for every person who sees us. Whether we know it or not, other people are emulating something that we've done in some way, shape, or form. And this brings me to my third point today, which is letting that fire within you burn, and burn loudly. I say burn loudly because when you watch a fire, you see sparks and you see all that bright light. But if you shut your eyes and just listen, you still know there is a fire. It's noisy. You can hear those sparks fly. You hear the cracking of the wood. And I talk about this fire because one of the important characteristics of each of the women in Inspired Women Lead is that she has a fire within her. She has some kind of a dream, something that she wants to be able to do, something that she knows she's meant for, that she's meant to be doing. She may not know what that is yet, but that fire is there. And I challenge you to look inside yourself at your own authenticity and what your fire is. What is that dream that's just budding within you? Or maybe it's already caught fire. What is it? And what are you going to do to set it loose, to make it burn loudly so other people hear it? They don't just see, they hear your fire. Because that fire is an important part of this authenticity that is within you. So be authentic. Go for that dream. It will be liberating. You will have more confidence. You will be more positive. You will draw people to you in a new way. And I celebrate you. I celebrate you as a beautiful, unique, authentic person. If you would like any help on your journey, please contact Inspired Women Lead. We are there to help others realize this authenticity and to be able to step into their greater leadership. You can also contact me, Bonnie, B-O-N-N-I-E, at Inspired Women Lead. I'm always delighted to speak to you, whether it's for Inspired Women or for another purpose. Let your fire burn loudly.